Hello and welcome to my video. So in this video, I'm making my Cookie Monster costume. So I've actually already posted a video on my YouTube channel about this, because last year I made a head of a Cookie Monster, like for a Cookie Monster costume. I made it out of paper mache and fabric. I glued on the fabric, made light up eyes out of foam, and I put it all together, and that was a pretty cool project. But I wasn't done. So this year, I made and sewed the whole body for the Cookie Monster costume. So right here, you can see me cutting a bigger hole for the head because the paper mache kind of flexed a little bit. And then I made tape pockets for the battery packs for the inside of the lights, because the eyes light up, and these battery packs needed somewhere to go on the head. And I just had them duct taped there, so I wanted to fix that a little bit, so I made a pocket for it. So I ended up going into the belly of the Cookie Monster and trying to problem solve and wondering how to get a fat belly. How do I make myself look fat? I tried to use rattan and take like rings and make rings with the rattan, but that didn't work. So I ended up having to go and buy a pattern, like a fabric pattern, and this is it. So I ended up having to sew, and I kind of had to modify a pattern because there's no pattern there, obviously, for a giant Cookie Monster costume. They just didn't have it there, and I couldn't find one. So we bought a pattern that was for like a lion or a tiger, for Halloween costumes, and then we edited it a little bit. This is me and my mom. She really helped me a lot throughout this process, so big thank you to you, Mom. But right here you can see I took the pieces of pattern, and I had to cut them all out on the pieces of fabric and sew them together. And I had to pin them together too, but this was kind of a pain in the butt, like the fabric type was, because on normal fabric, the fur, like this fabric has a bunch of fur, so it kind of got in the way of the sewing machine, but it wasn't that big of a deal at this stage of the process. But the next thing, we had to make our own pattern, like a second pattern, for the belly of the Cookie Monster. So I wanted to look really fat, and I wanted when someone hugs me in this costume, I want it to be like a stuffed animal. And so my mom said we could just make a costume, make a belly. So that's what we did. We took some tissue paper, and we designed a pattern. We made a drawing, designed the pattern, and right here I sewed a strap. So this strap goes around the Cookie Monster costume and ties the big belly to me, to my figure. And so after making this pillow, we had to sew it all together after pinning it, and we took some stuffing, and it was time to stuff the giant pillow that we just sewed. Okay, so after that was done, after I stuffed or cut open the pillow, I had to take all that stuffing and put it inside of my pillow. So I thought this wasn't going to be a lot of padding to put inside, but it ended up being pretty good and pretty fluffy to make myself look fat. And then I moved on to the gloves of the Cookie Monster costume. And when I cut out the fabric, fur got everywhere. So I had to work in my basement because I knew this was going to happen since last year I used the fur. It had gotten all over my room. This year, I had to use a shop vacuum, which really helped pick up all the fur from the counter, from the floor, because it got everywhere. After cutting out the two pieces of fabric, I actually used a different type of fabric. I used a blanket for the fabric, for the whole costume. And so I used this shorter furred fabric for the inside palms of the hands, and so that made it easier for me to grab objects when I'm wearing the costume, and it was a really good idea. So what we did, this is the gloves. So last year when I made gloves, they were just hot glued together because I was on a really big time constraint, and I didn't take the time to really refine stuff. But this year, I really like how this costume came out. It was awesome. So after pinning all the fabric together here, this is me pinning the fabric together. This is the sleeve. So and then we had to sew the sleeves together to the body, and we had to sew the zipper on the front of the costume for me getting the costume on, like how I got into it. And unfortunately, the day before Halloween, it started snowing. So this was pretty sad. I thought I wasn't going to be able to go to trick-or-treating because I know last year it rained, but it ended up working out really well. The snow melted fast, so that was really nice. And this is me waving at some cars on trick-or-treat on Halloween night. I ended up going to a Halloween party inside of a mall, and so this is me wearing the costume. I really like how it came out. I think I look awesome in it. And thank you again, Mom, for helping me make this costume. This is me wearing it. I love how big and fat and I look in this costume, and I just really like how it came out. Big thanks to my mom. She helped me so much, and yeah, for taking her time and building it with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like because it took a long time to make this costume, and I'll see you in the next one.